We are going live 30 minutes after every episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms to share our first thoughts, talk book to show changes, and dig into the lore. I'm Uzma, and this is Morgan. Hello, Morgan.
Hello. Hi.
And and whether you are a book reader or completely new to Duncan Egg, you are welcomed here. Let's start with a quick review of episode 2. Morgan, do you want to give us a quick summary of this episode?
Absolutely. So, first, the episode starts with a bit of a flashback as Dunk is trying to get knights and lords to vouch for him as a knight. We see uh, the life of Sir Arlen a bit with Dunk there as well in the flashbacks. Then we meet various Targaryen princes who have all come to the joust. Is for Dunk and helps Dunk to get into the joust. Now we don't see Dunk jousting today, but we do see him preparing for his joust, which seems to be the day that's coming up. We also watch another joust happening in the
Mhm.
evening, which is very interesting because I'm not used to jousts happening at night.
Yeah.
Uh, but during all this preparation, we see some more of our puppet theater. And we see Dunk and Egg talking quite a bit with each other, sharing their fears, their hopes, not quite understanding each other yet, but they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Um, and the episode ends with Dunk talking about how he feels about Sir Arlen and his legacy, and
Mhm.
hoping that and saying that he will make that legacy matter the next day in the joust.
Yeah. And the very first thing I noticed when the episode began, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms doesn't have any intro like we had a Game of Thrones intro, and so we had
Right.
a House of the Dragon. Yeah. Uh, the-
The song
like,
is gone.
yeah. I kind of miss it.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
when we'd see like little flashes of a scene, and then
Yeah.
we'd see the song, and we'd hear the song, and we see different dramatic moments, but they were always moments about Westeros in a broad scheme of things. I suppose
Yeah.
when you're bringing things down to the small scale that Night of the Seven Kingdoms is doing, uh, they may not have some big theme to put that song to. There's
Yeah.
no
Because,
signs of
yeah.
who the different Targaryens are, or what the different places in Westeros are.
Yeah, because usually they used to show maps in the intro where the camera was moving from one part of the map from another to another, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And in this A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the whole story is set in Ashford. I don't think we get to see any other part other than the flashbacks. They don't go anywhere else, at least for this, the Hedge Knight. So I think it makes sense. Yeah. By the
Right,
way,
and it
do you
does
think?
seem that
Yeah.
yeah, and it
Go ahead.
does seem that with the pacing of the episode, we're going to be seeing just Ashford Meadows for the entire season because
Yeah.
it doesn't look like they're going to do all of the Hedge Knight in, say, the first half of the season and move on to the next story. So we're just going to be seeing the story of events at Ashford Meadows. But like you said, they are doing flashbacks, which the director commented in the after episode parts, talking
Mhm.
about how that was a way that they were differentiating from the other shows, was the fact that they have these flashbacks and connections and little pieces of comedy about the past and what have you. Um,
Yeah.
so so yeah, it is interesting to watch.
Yeah. And do you think Dunk has less pride on the show than as compared to the books? Because in the books, he doesn't go from lord to lord asking for them to vouch for him. And that's what even Egg points out to him that he must keep his pride. And in the book, it feels like he has his pride. Like he doesn't want to even be indebted to another knight uh, as compared to the show. What do you think?
they're changing up who he's talking to in this. They're making them more significant figures of the time period than minor knights that he does talk to in the books. And they're making more people for him to be talking to. But I think they're just upping the scale because they're trying to, even though they're lowering the scale compared to Game of Thrones and House of the
Yeah,
Dragon, they're upping the scale compared to the books. I think just to give nods for the viewers of those shows and the avid readers to
yeah,
see significant figures in history, the ancestors of characters or the descendants of characters that they care about in the other shows.
yeah. I only remembered Sir Manfred. That's why I thought like it felt weird for me to see him going from one lord to another, especially when they were like, I don't know him.
Yeah, I mean, in the books, if I remember correctly, and I may not, if I remember correctly, George only elaborates in one scene of Sir
Yeah,
Manfred, but it's implied, if not outright stated, that Sir Dunk has gone to talk to a few other knights to try
yeah,
to get other people to recognize Sir Arlen,
yeah,
and he's failed. So in this, they just kind of turned it more into like this montage, and they used um, Lord Tyrell and what have you as examples of more significant people who apparently have also
yeah.
forgotten who Sir Arlen is.
But I really liked that it bothered Egg to see him go and ask others. Like he was like, "You should keep your pride." So, and he doesn't want these royal lapdogs to treat the one knight he respects a lot, to mistreat him that way, to look down on him. By the way, Egg has a really dirty mouth on the show, doesn't he?
Yes, but Egg is such an eager child who
Yeah,
knows more than he ought in his
yeah,
circumstances.
exactly. And I love how easily Dunk accepts his excuses. Like when he was talking about the crabbers, and told him something that he shouldn't have known, and Dunk was like, "How do you know?" And Egg just says, "I like fishing," and he was like, "Okay," like that makes sense.
Well, Dunk the Lunk, thick as a castle wall, right?
Exactly.
Um, but
Yeah,
speaking of which, they said that line, at least part of it, in the episode. Though I'm sad. I want to see more of it. That line
yeah,
gets said so many times in the story, and yet
yeah.
like it feels like such an after comment in the show.
Yeah, they should say it more. It's like one of the most iconic quotes about Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Like, if someone you'll ask
Absolutely.
someone the most popular quote, I think it will be this one. Yeah. By the way, one thing I noticed when they were introducing and announcing Prince Baelor the Blessed, they the guy who was the guard who was announcing it, he mentioned Prince Maker as an afterthought, and even then he did not mention Prince. He just said and Maker. So
His
you can
brother.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah, you can feel like why Maker might feel slighted and a little bit jealous of Prince Baelor, right?
Yeah, and also, as is stated throughout the episode, Prince Makar is missing two of his sons,
Yeah,
which is probably worrying him, as Baelor keeps suggesting. Even though Makar just seems generally angry, Baelor
yeah.
seems to be indicating that Makar is just in his feelings and and lashing out as a response.
But it felt like he was more than just worried about his sons. He also wanted his sons to be there for the tourney, to participate in the tourney. So I think a part of it
Probably.
is, yeah, them not being there to compete with Valar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Makar is a man of pride, and you're right. He is likely very jealous of his brother and how people treat his brother. It's not even just jealousy, right?
Yeah.
He is treated very differently than other princes. He's not elegant. He doesn't speak in
Mhm.
quite the same way as other
Yeah.
princes. He's more direct, and I think his reputation suffers for it, and he generally sees other people treating him that way
Mhm.
as their problem and not his.
By the way, I really love the humor in this series. Like the fair maid telling Dunk that his sons are probably dead, and then Dunk telling Mekar, "I hope they are not dead." And the reaction on his face was so funny on Prince Mekar. I think she was the
You
fair
know?
maid, Gwyn, Lord Ashford's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she read Dunk the Filth, yeah.
And he fell for it. He goes and says, right to Mekar's face, "I hope your sons are not dead." And he was like, "What?" But I feel like Aerion made a really big impact by just a few moments. Uh, he showed up on the episode, right? You could
Oh,
feel
yeah.
that his authority and like he has this charisma. I don't know, like we discussed it earlier that maybe he's trying to be like Damon, but I feel like at least he gets a little bit of it. Like you can feel
Yeah.
he is a Targaryen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely an interesting
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely Targaryen vibes, right? But he's also just kind of callous and
Yeah.
rude in general. Like I can see Damon being rude, but
Yeah.
Damon is rude with a purpose, if that makes any kind of sense. Whereas
Yeah.
Arian is just rude,
Rude to everyone. Damon
right?
won't be rude to someone who's working with him or someone who isn't against him. But Arian would rude to be just everybody. It feels like that.
Now I have to look it up. I'm kind of Stela is a brunette who is the younger sister.
But I think it's Gwen because he introduced his daughter, Lord
Oh
Ashford
yeah.
introduced his daughter to Prince Baelor. So and she was wearing the yellow golden gown that she was wearing when she was talking to Dunk. So I'll need to rewatch the episode as well. But I thought when I watched that scene, I thought it was Gwyn Ashford, the fair maid. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
can't be
probably
hundred
right.
percent sure as well.
I'll see if
Yeah.
I can't find her. Yeah, no, you're right. It's her.
And by the way, I feel like Dunk is more brave on the show as compared to the books, right? Because in the books, he won't dare to go in, you know, side room following a maid the way he did on the show. He went there to talk to Plumber, and he didn't even go to talk to him there. He just
Yeah,
followed a random maid. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
that scene seemed odd to me. I wasn't sure
Yeah,
why he was following a random maid. That and I
exactly.
feel like there was some aspect to the story that I somehow missed that would have
Yeah,
explained that. I didn't follow that one piece. It did strike me immediately as odd.
yeah,
But as far as him being braver, like maybe socially a little bit,
yeah.
but he's pretty brave in the books, almost stupidly so. Um, I mean, like he's not he he
Mhm.
he is. a bit humble, but he also is a bit. He thinks a lot of himself, or he doesn't understand the risks that he takes. So that's why I say
Yeah.
a little bit stupidly so. He does stuff without realizing that, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. This was dangerous. Oops.
Yeah. It feels like he's more, acts on the spot, doesn't think too much. Whereas in the show, they are trying to give a purpose, a reasoning for every one of his, except for this one. They are trying to give purpose or trying to make sense and make his actions look rational as compared to the books, because it feels like in the books he acts on impulse, but on the show, for going to the elm tree, the show gave him a purpose, that the knights other knights were making fun of him, and that's why he went there. In the books, that was the reason, but he went to the elm tree first. Similarly, there were some other things as well, going to register first. It makes sense that he wants to register, so he goes there first. In the books, he went to the tree first and then went to register his name. And Steely Pate, he went to the armorer first before going to even register his name. So here in this episode, it makes sense that after he got permission to enter the list, then he went to the armorer, because in case he was not given permission, that would have gone to waste, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely a little bit more logical, a little bit more world aware, even though they make a point of trying to show that he's a bit ignorant of things and that he's a little out of his depth.
Yeah,
He is a little bit more aware of some practicalities than he is in the
yeah.
books.
But
I
I still
agree.
like, yeah, how he takes care of Egg. And did you notice his speech? I think Dunk would make a great a motivational coach. When he hears Egg's story, he's like, "Yeah, people call me stupid. Everyone told me I was stupid."
Yeah,
And
everyone told me I was stupid.
Egg's like, and
Yeah, yeah. Dunk just doesn't
things
think
through.
things through. He
Yeah,
doesn't. He knows. I think he's trying to relate a little bit. Like he's like, yeah, that's a problem that you have. I have this problem. He's not saying this is how you get by it. He's
yeah,
saying you have the problem, survive it, deal with it. And I think
yeah,
Egg, who is used to other means of communication and other
exactly.
ways of life, is usually more given to the idea of, oh, are you going to give me advice? And
Yeah.
Dunk's not even thinking about advice.
I
He's
think
just
Egg
thinking
is
about,
used
I
to
live.
better advice, getting better advice, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, Dunk doesn't think that way, and Egg does. And so, like, the episode shows that their brains just don't quite work
Work
in
on the same,
tandem.
yeah,
Yeah,
work on the same level as well.
but they clearly care about each other, and even
Yeah.
though they each see things very differently, they
Hmm.
still connect. It's kind of like an odd couple show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why their whole dynamic makes this series so different from the other two. We have seen some duos in Game of Thrones and all, but they were like, I can't think of any other relationship as wholesome as this one. I've been
Yeah,
saying
no.
this a lot, but I really love their dynamic. Yeah, and this episode really showed how much Dunk cared for Sir Arlen. It even showed that Sir Arlen was not a perfect knight, at least not as perfect as Dunk remembered him as, but still he cared for him a lot, and he was like a figure and the only adult in his life. So when he dies, you can see, like there, when he was watching the jousting, he suddenly started thinking of Sir Arlen and got sad. And near the end, he talked like to Egg about Sir Arlen's life. he was like how he died. He didn't die in battle or didn't get any great death. He just died on the side of a road. So
Yeah,
it,
and we
hmm
Dunk. I don't even think that Dunk thinks that Sir Arlen is a great knight. I
yeah.
think Dunk thinks Sir Arlen is a great man, or rather, a good man. I think Dunk sees Sir Arlen and sees him as a role model, and he
But I
tries
think
to live up
in the
to who
books,
Sir Arlen was.
but I think in the books he has thought a couple of times that Sir Alan was a great knight or something. I'm not
Maybe, but
100%
it's just
sure.
not the.
Yeah,
It's not the vibe that I'm getting in the show. At least, it's not that
yeah,
he. I don't think that Dunk thinks Sir Arlen was a bad knight, but I
yeah.
think Dunk a jousting knight or a
Mm,
tourney knight of any kind. I mean, to a degree, but not a great tourney knight. He had a few accomplishments, a few successful tilts.
yeah.
But really, what I think Dunk
hmm
cares about in regard to Sir Arlen is how Sir Arlen handles other people. The charity that we saw in the episode, the
Yeah,
way that Sir Arlen went and fought for various lords and helped and did his best in each circumstance.
yeah.
While Sir
He
Arlen might have been a
recognizes he
hard
was
man at
a good
times.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a
exactly,
good
a good
man.
man.
Yeah, especially because he took Duncan when he didn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that meant so much to Dunk, which I think is also why Dunk has taken an egg.
yeah. He tries to be what Sir Alan was to him without the
Yeah.
beating part, maybe. I don't think Dunk will ever beat Egg. He doesn't have it in him. At least I think he doesn't. Right?
Well, uh, I kind of disagree. I think they aren't going to show it in the show, just like they don't show it in the book. However, there are
yeah.
lines in the books where Dunk uh, references giving Egg clouts in the ears, as in actions that he has already taken, not just threats.
Yeah, but
Um,
on the show, he feels a little bit softer than as compared to the books.
yeah, softer. I
Yeah.
think so too, but I think yeah, I think that's mostly for the audience. I think that the showrunners are
hmm
shifting that little bit um, because
Yeah.
Dunk in the books is soft, but he doesn't consider knocking some sense into a child as a problem.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean honestly, I'm good with the change. I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely not that way in the books.
I agree. It's not that way in the books, but I feel like it will be that way on the show because the show is trying to make their dynamic more wholesome. And I think beating egg, even if for a reason, will not will diminish that maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of expect. I don't know if you ever saw the show NCIS, um,
Yeah. I
but
haven't.
but
Yeah.
it's okay. In the show, one of the leaders, a character named Gibbs, he
hmm
always kind of gives characters light whacks on the back of the head to try to knock sense into
Yeah.
them. It's not super violent. It's not like brutal. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like a like that.
Tap.
I kind of half expect Dunk to do something along those lines where it's not brutal, but it is
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah. If you guys are watching, let us know what you think. Do you think Dunk will beat Egg on the show or not? Let us know in the comments. Yeah. So moving on, what do you think
Yep.
was the yeah? What do you
Go ahead.
think was the best moment in this entire episode?
Okay, so for me, I really just liked Dunk talking to Tanzel. Sorry, in the audiobook it's Tanzel.
Yeah.
In the show it's Tanzel. Um, and I'll have to adjust my brain to say the name the different way. But
Yeah.
Way that Egg was clearly feeling utterly mortified the entire time. Um, it was just
Yeah.
it was the best scene in my opinion.
Yeah, his expressions. And but he was a good wingman.
Yes, he did his best. He did his best.
But there's only so much he can do.
Yeah. Oh well. So okay, what's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was the meeting with the Targaryens, especially with Baelor and Mikhail.
Mm.
Uh, it was in just one scene. The show showed how good Baelor Targaryen is. Like people will like him just by watching that scene where he supports Egg. I see no problem with it, and he remembered Sir Arden, even though. He was a hedge knight. He had jousted with some 16 years ago. So that was really, I don't know, admirable of him. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's one of
Uh,
my favorite characters from the books.
yeah. I also liked seeing Aerion meeting Egg and mistaking him for a servant and all. Like that scene was almost exactly like it was in the books, but seeing it play out on the screen was something else. Uh,
Yeah, I think you mean Dunk. He saw Dunk and all that. But yeah,
yeah.
the yes, it was priceless.
But
And the facial
yeah,
expressions were on point.
yeah. I didn't imagine how his like I couldn't picture how his face will be when he says knighthood has fallen on sad days. Yeah, that definitely helped. What do you think worked well for the episode?
For me, what I thought worked well was Dunk's dedication, the way they showed his dedication, the way they showed his drive to move forward, to keep trying, especially
Mm-hmm,
culminating at the end of the episode where he's talking about Sir Arlen's legacy and how he's going to show them all the next day.
mm-hmm.
That overall vibe throughout the episode, just I think it worked really well, and it carried and it gave the episode a strong feeling of purpose.
Yeah. As for
What about
me,
you?
I feel like Egg coming into life changed things for Dunk. Like I think
Yeah.
we've talked about this earlier. Nothing was going right for Dunk before meeting Egg, and the moment Egg arrived, he saw a sign, a comet that was a sign of good luck. And then the very next day, they he met Prince Baelor, and he was allowed to enter the lists. So I really like. What's working well is Egg's whole dynamic, him supporting Dunk. And by the way, did you notice that the moment that Targaryen showed up, he was with Egg was with Dunk, and the moment that Targaryen showed up, he was like, "Okay, maybe I'll go back." And
Yep, I definitely noticed that moment. He does not want to associate at this time.
yeah, he was maybe a little scared because he doesn't want to be among the noble lords, right?
Yeah.
um, and another thing I noticed about Egg was uh, what was that? Uh, okay, I'll get back to it. And what do you think? Do you think there is anything that concerned you about this show?
Uh honestly, I'm a little concerned about the pacing. Um
Do
I
you think
like
it
the
makes
show.
the
I've enjoyed
episode too slow?
not the episode, the
Mhm.
show. Right?
Okay.
I thought the episode was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I would have even liked it if it was longer. Um, but I feel like pacing
Mm-hmm.
out the entire season for just the tourney at Ashford
Mm-hmm.
uh feels very slow, and there is some good action in this story, but I would
Yeah.
like to see things move at a bit of a brisker pace so I can see more stories developing. when I first heard about the show, I kind of figured they were going to do two short stories a season, not one.
Yeah, and they didn't cover the first day of jousting like it was in the books, right? The five champions at the beginning and showing that they were
Right.
going easy on Prince Pilar and all that.
Yeah, they actually cut out a quite a bit about the
Yeah,
jousting and the purpose of this tourney. Um, they've cut a lot of characters, side characters, and things that are going on, um, to focus on more characters to
yeah,
highlight connections to the great houses and things like that. And I think that's also why that aspect has kind of disappeared. But uh, yeah, I look forward. I knowing what I know about the story and where things are headed. I look forward to it. I just wish we
hmm
would get there faster. That is all. But I do enjoy this the show, and I am enjoying the scenes that we are seeing. It's not that I want them to cut anything. Longer
yeah.
episodes would be okay with.
And yeah, they didn't even show the rules of the jousting. Like there are five champions, and whoever defeats it will become the next champion. And people will have to challenge these five challengers, five champions. And whoever at the end of the tourney, whoever remains those five, they will get the chance to name a fair maid. What was the Queen of Love and Beauty, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The jousting is interesting, especially in this episode. I don't know if you noticed. I think I already
yeah,
mentioned it. In fact, the jousting was taking place at night.
yeah.
Now, I grew up at the Renaissance Fair. I've seen my fair share of jousts, and I've done my fair share of research into jousts. I have
Yeah,
never heard of a nighttime joust except in Los Angeles, right?
right.
Um, the fact of the matter is that in a dark night,
Hmm.
it's hard to see what's going on, even with torches and whatnot. That's not an
Exactly.
ideal jousting situation. It's, in fact, hazardous and dangerous, and the audience probably wouldn't be able to see very well. I'm guessing the
Hmm.
scene was in a full moon time period, right? So there's extra
Yeah,
moonlight and stuff like that. But it seemed more like a dramatic choice than a practical choice. I don't
yeah.
think in the book, but I don't remember, but I don't think in the
And
book
it felt
that the
like the
joust took
scenes
place
were
at
too
night.
hectic, right? Like they were moving, the
Yeah.
things were moving too fast, and it wasn't as clear as compared to the jousting we've seen in House of the Dragon or in Game of Thrones.
Right. They're shooting they're having five pairs of knights going at once with almost
Yeah,
no narration and no concept of what's happening aside from people are jousting.
yeah.
Um and a few interesting tricks when they focused on one knight or what have you, but yeah, overall
Mm-hmm.
the vibes do not seem focused on the joust. I expect the reasoning for this
Mm-hmm.
is that we're going to see Dunk jousting. We're going to focus in when Dunk goes to join the lists and what have you.
Yeah,
But I
and
don't really expect a whole lot.
yeah, and one thing that bothered me in this episode was the fish scene. Like, if it was sir, it wasn't house night from the house telly, it would have been very offensive to eat a fish and throw it. It was like Egg said, it was weird, and it wasn't. What was the purpose of it? That scene, yeah. uh, Eating the egg, like, if at first I thought it was the caption showed that it was a jouster, so I was like, wouldn't it be offensive to house tully? Like, they might get offended that this jouster is making fun of house tully. But later, when they started jousting, I thought maybe it is a knight from house tully. So if it wasn't a house, like, you can see why they would take offense, and why a certain then you it would make sense why a certain someone would take offense for a certain dragon in the future episodes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, it's very
What
interesting.
did you think of this
Um
scene? Yeah. Yeah.
All that much, honestly. I kind of let that one go right by me. Um, but now that you're bringing it up, uh, the yeah, I think there are, as you said, sometimes Targaryens and whatnot have feelings about things with
Mhm,
dragons and what have you, but dragons, at least in this day and age, aren't
mhm.
around. And when they were around, they were royal authority and they were only owned by the royals, right?
Yeah.
Whereas things like fish,
Yeah.
people eat fish every day. So I don't think the Tullys can
That
take
makes
great
sense.
offense when
Yeah.
they see someone eating a fish. I think that's just a
Mhm.
meal.
Yeah. And when another thing I noticed was when he was talking to Sir Ronald of Duskendale, Dunk asked, "How does a crabber's son became a knight of the King's Guard?" Do you think it was
Mm.
a foreshadowing? I thought about this question whether it's a spoiler or not, but I feel like Game of Thrones already spoiled a little bit, so it's not a spoiler, right?
Oh, you do you mean that Dunk eventually becomes a Kingsguard? No, it's not a
Yeah.
spoiler. That is well established, talked about in the shows.
Prince Joffrey
Uh,
already is spoiled it for everyone.
yeah, they talked right about him. No, so I yes, I think it's a bit of a foreshadowing. I think it's a bit of connecting
Yeah,
dots. We see those two knights later on in the story, so it's also a good way to introduce them
yeah.
and connect them in the minds of the audience.
But I like how Egg doesn't even consider the possibility that Dunk might be appointed by House Targaryen because he was like, "Do you think dragons just go about hiding hedge knights?" So at this point,
See,
Egg doesn't consider it, right?
no,
What do you
I
think?
don't even think that it's not about that. It's about not considering it. Um, Without going into details, I think Egg
Hmm.
was trying to talk him out of it.
To not go
I
apply for,
I think
yeah.
I think Egg doesn't want Dunk to go down that path, so he's talking him out of it. I don't think it's necessarily that he believes that the path is
But won't that
completely
be helpful to him
unviable.
in the long run? Because egg might be, I don't know, squaring. It might have been a square, but I don't think it's long term. He would have to go back eventually. So, uh, like if the Dunk was there, I don't know how to talk without spoiling things, but
No, I get it. I
won't that
think
be, yeah, be
I'll
a
say
better choice
this.
for egg? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll say this. Uh, Egg has seen some things, and I think Egg doesn't want to see that. I don't think Egg wants to see
yeah.
Dunk in that environment. As we see,
Mm-hmm,
many of the Targaryens in the show are
mm-hmm,
very brash, very abrupt, very harsh, very cruel.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Does he
and
think Dunk
Dunk
might get corrupted by that environment?
maybe, but I think it's more that Dunk is a an innocent little bean.
Yeah.
Um, and Egg is protective of him. Egg is supportive of him, as you were saying
Yeah.
earlier.
Mhm.
To have a good life,
Yeah.
and I think Egg doesn't think that a good life is what
Hmm.
Dunk of all people would have serving in a Targaryen household.
Especially with Aerion there.
Exactly, especially with Aerion, even with Makar, right? Dunk's
Yeah.
not going to have a great time with Makar. Just
Yeah,
saying.
you can sense how much Mekhar was also looking down at him because he was a hedge knight.
Exactly.
Yeah. Prince Baelor was the only one who seemed respectful. Even Lord Ashford was seemed like he was making fun of him, like he was looking down on him. Yeah. And did you notice any other foreshadowing or anything?
Any other foreshadowing?
Hmm.
I mean, Let me think. I
I don't.
aside
Yeah.
from the inherent foreshadowing of the books having to do with like the shooting star,
Mm-hmm.
aka a falling star,
Mm-hmm.
um, and Dunk's attachment to it and what that means for him ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because what is a shooting star metaphorically, right? So one, you can look at it as a
Mm-hmm.
falling star. You can look at it as something bright and shiny that has fallen out of the sky. Another
Yeah.
thing you can look at it is something that has moved from the place where it belonged
Mm-hmm.
and went somewhere new and became brighter and more glorious for it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe even though we saw that the taking it
Mm-hmm.
on as his sigil in the
Mm-hmm.
episode, I think is significant.
And Egg was when at the end of the episode, Egg was pretending to like fight black and defeat Blackfire bastards and all. But
Yes.
do you think? But I'm not sure if it's a foreshadowing or not because I don't think the show will cover that part right now. Yeah.
No, I mean it's current events is what
Yeah.
that is, right? The Blackfire Rebellion happened in the recent past, and
Yeah.
as we all know, there were several Blackfire Rebellions. So the first one's already happened, and more are to
We
come. So it
have
is
two or
foreshadowing
three more
in that
coming.
way.
Yeah.
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 It's foreshadowing in that way, but
Hmm.
it's also just showing what's current, right? I think it's
Hmm.
partly to show a little bit of Egg's perspective and also just show the audience where we are in the timeline. We're in the Blackfire Rebellion eras.
Hmm. And did you notice any book to show changes?
Several little ones. I mean, as you've said, there's been a lot of changes in the timeline and the
Hmm.
sequencing of things.
But I think this episode
However,
was, yeah, the most faithful to the books, you can say.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was way more faithful to the books. We were seeing not exactly in the same order, but scenes were pretty much happening
Yeah.
as they were before in the
Yeah.
books, and we're just seeing them playing out slightly different order, but and with a
Hmm.
little bit of extra
Yeah.
detail. But it makes me wonder about how the rest of the season's going to go because, right, if we keep
Hmm.
moving at this pace, we're going to get to the end. Really. So I think they're going to.
I, yeah, I was wondering when that particular scene will happen. I think it might happen at the end of the third episode, maybe. That particular incident with the dragon, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, I think it's either next episode or the episode after, but yeah, one of the two.
Because if that happens in the next episode, they will have more time to spend on the trial and all that. Since they have already shown in the trailers, I don't think it's a spoiler that there will be a trial. Prince,
Yes.
yeah. So I think we can talk about it.
Yeah, I think I imagine that's going to be coming. That will be it'll be resolving in the final episode of the season. It will be set up
Mhm.
in the episode before it, or it'll be prepared for in the episode before it, if not
Yeah,
beginning set up for it. So we have 1 to 2 episodes for everything that happens until it.
but those episodes are shorter as well, like, right?
Yeah,
So
I think so. I don't remember the full length, but yeah, a lot of these middle episodes are fairly short.
yeah, so they don't have a lot of time, but I kind of wanted them to show the tourney, the joust, and everything else in more detail. But that's
Yeah,
probably not gonna happen
I
given
I
the length
I
of
I
the
still
episode.
theorize.
Yeah.
I still theorize we're gonna get more details on the joust in the next episode as Dunk prepares to
Hmm.
joust for himself.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. That
Yeah.
being said, go soon-ish. So if we have other questions, we should get to them.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't notice a lot of any other changes. A lot of them we have already discussed. One thing I noticed was sweet food. They kind of skipped the part of Dunk selling sweet food, and before that, we saw Dunk's bargaining skills with Chili Pate. I don't think Dunk
Yeah,
was leaving when Steelipet agreed for to accept his armor. In the books, he accepts it immediately, and then we see Dunk's bargaining skills a little bit more when he sells
yeah.
sweet food. He goes to the castle, Ashford Castle, to sell it, and then comes back and sells it to Henley. But in the on the show, they skipped that whole part. Yeah.
Yeah, but also I'll say this for the showrunners in this particular, I don't think Dunk was particularly good at
Mm-hmm.
bargaining for any of the horses, for the armor, or what have you. I mean, he
Yeah.
got a little bit of a bargain out of each of
Yeah.
them, but really, I think the other
He
people
kind of
got the
lost.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other people got the best of him in each of those cases.
He should have
Though
taken
Steely
egg
Pate,
with him.
yeah, though Steely Pate was the
Mhm.
more kind out of those
Yeah.
situations, more
It felt
caring.
like he saw Dunk leaving disappointed and felt pity for him, maybe, and that's why he agreed to accept him more than rather than he wanted to sell the armor. Like
Yeah,
he looks at him leaving disappointed, and the same thing happened with Plumber as well. At least on the show, when he saw that Dunk was leaving disappointed, he offered him the choice to bring in someone to vouch for him, as compared to offering it immediately, like it is in the books.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that they cut straight past that whole scene.
Do you have any final words for our viewers?
Uh, Final words. Uh, Look forward to what's coming. We're gonna
Yeah.
see we're seeing things building up. It's a slow build. I understand that they may make you concerned about what's actually going to be in the episodes.
Yeah.
It's gonna build up quick. We're gonna see blood. So prepare yourselves.
Mhm. Exactly. Those who were wondering about why people would like this more, or what's different about this series rather than from Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, we've already seen a little bit. We've already seen the wholesome, sweet part, but we are going to get to the action part soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but and this was I feel like this was my favorite episode so far. Even though there have been only two episodes, I like this one more than the first one.
I definitely liked this episode more than the first one.
Yeah, a lot of things happened in this one. Yeah,
And there was
especially
no
the
poop
Targaryens.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I really didn't like that. But yeah, but that was our showrunner's favorite. I think one of like he really likes those uh, poop and fart jokes, as I read in one of the articles. So I've heard that there will be more scenes. So prepare yourself for that in the future. Yeah,
I will survive.
yeah, we will. Okay, so all right, we are going to start wrapping up here. This was the Hedge Knight Live, our first reaction discussion to a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We go live 30 minutes after every episode. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you are subscribed and notifications are on. I'll be posting a full detailed episode breakdown video very soon. I'll go frame by frame and go deeper into the lore and book changes. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode, and we'll be back right here after the next one. Thank you for hanging out with us. Have a great day. Seven blessings to you. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.